Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs using Canva. So if that is something that you're interested in learning about, please stick around. So in today's video, I'm going to go over how to create this shirt, this design right here. So this is an all-over print shirt. And to make this, I used free graphics from Fabrica. I used Canva, and I used Printful. And so I was able to get this shirt up. I can sell it through Printful on platforms like Etsy or on Amazon via Seller Central. I also used Printful to kind of create this mock-up, but then I used Canva to improve the mock-up to what you're seeing right here. Anyways, if you would like to learn about all over print shirts and about how you can use some of the free graphics on Fabrica to create some, all over print style designs, go ahead and stick around. So in today's video, I'm going to do another video on how to create all over print shirts. Specifically, I'm going to use a template from Printful because that'll give you a really good idea, but you can use this for any kind of all over print shirts or really any all over print anything. Shirts are just a little bit different than other products because it's sort of the style and the idea of, somebody's going to have to wear this. It has to be something somebody wants to wear if you're going to do an all over print, versus, you're going to have a slightly different style for a phone case or a pillowcase or something like that. So I am on Printful now, and I am on their product catalog, and I just wanted to show you guys really quick. So some of the all over print stuff you can get. If I come to women's clothing, for example, and I go to all over shirts, it's going to show some examples of some of their all over print shirts. So these are all their all over print shirts. I'm going to just go with the regular crew shirt right here. And so here is their all over print t-shirt. And I can come down here. You can always scroll down to where you start to get your file guidelines. And if you go to file guidelines, there's always something that'll say print file template, and it'll say download. And so if you were to download that, give it a second, it's going to download in a zip file. You'll have to open the zip file and then drag and drop the individual, like the front panel or the back panel into your downloads, and then we can just jump over to Canva from there. So I'm going to go ahead, drop over to my Canva page. I am on Canva's home page here. I'm going to go ahead and start by creating a custom size, and I'm going to go ahead and just go with 4,500 by 5,400 pixels. Sorry, it's been a long morning already. 4,500 by 5,400 pixels. And I'm going to open a blank page here. And from here, I can go over to the left tabs, the one that says uploads. You can click that, and then you can click upload, and you can upload what you just downloaded from Printful. And so that is right here. And so here is the template. So the template fits pretty good inside this page here. So I'm going to go edge to edge, and so you can kind of see this is what your front panel will look like. So when you're designing an all over print, it needs to cover this whole area. Now there's also a back, and there's also sleeves. Now when I do all over print, I like to do either patterned designs or either like a repetitive pattern throughout, or just like one giant wallpaper type pattern where it may not be uniform throughout, but it goes edge to edge. You want to have bleed. Now somebody had asked me about Fabrica and some of their free like wallpaper style designs and what you could use them for. This is a great example of something that you could use those for. So for example, if I was to go onto my Fabrica right now, I am in the freebies section. I only do freebies, and so you'll see there's free fonts, free SVGs, free graphics. If you go to the free graphics, for example, there are almost 6,000 pages of free graphics. It will take you forever to go through them. So trust me, there's tons and tons of freebies that you can use. And there's a lot of really beautiful ones. So you'll see some of these style designs. These are like sort of the, the background paper style designs that somebody was asking for. The digital paper, I guess is what they call it, digital paper. And so there's a ton of different digital papers, and some of them are just gorgeous. And so it took me a while of looking through to find some of the ones that I really liked. The one I wanted to show you specifically was on page 8. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump forward to page 8 here. Give me a sec. Okay, so on page 8, there's still a whole bunch, but this is the one that I liked right here. So this one, digital droplets, it was this nice teal kind of floral color. So if I click on that, you can see it's going to come with a few different papers. All of them just sort of have this nice floral pattern, and it's sort of a teal and white. And so this is something that I thought might look good on an all over print shirt. So specifically a shirt, but again, you can use it on all over print, just about anything. And it does say commercial usage allowed. So we're going to go ahead and download this for free. And we'll give it a sec. This page will pop up wanting to know if you want to do a free trial. I'm going to click maybe later, because again, everything I do on Creative Fabrica, I do for free. So it's going to download that. It will download this into a zip file. So to sort of unzip that file, you'll have to go to the top of your computer where your downloads are, double click on that zip file, find the individual files, and drag and drop them into your downloads. And then once you have done that, you can just go ahead and go right back over to your Canva page. So I'm back on Canva, and I can go ahead and upload those now. So on the left-hand side of my page, you'll see uploads, and here's where you can just upload files, and you can upload anything that you've just downloaded from Creative Fabrica. So for example, get rid of that. So this is one of those floral patterns, and if I was to drag this so that it covered pretty much the whole page, and I can do something like that. Now this is going to cover pretty much the whole shirt, and if I was to use a little transparency on it, so at the top where you see this little checkered box design says transparency, I can bring that transparency down, so now I can see my file underneath it right there, so I can see where it would line up on the shirt and all of that. You could also, again, bring the transparency up, and if you have not filled your entire page, see I left this itty bitty little gap here so it didn't completely fill my background, I can take it, I can hit Control and your left bracket, and that would send it to the back. And when it sends it to the back, it's bringing my file forward, and so now I can see exactly what would show up on the shirt. And so that is how that shirt would look. And so that looks pretty cool. It's got, sort of a textured teal color to it, a little floral pattern. So that looks pretty nice. But again, I don't like to use things exactly as they are. So I wouldn't use this exactly as is. I want to add a little bit of flair, a little something that makes it a tiny bit different, whether that's flowers or sort of more of a glitter or whatever else I can add to sort of go ahead and make it a little bit more my own. So, but you get the idea of how that's going to look. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get rid of my file or my template there, and I am going to go ahead and see what I can do to kind of make this a little bit more unique. And so maybe I can go up to my elements. There's glitters, there's alcohol inks, there's all sorts of transparent type of elements, and of course you can make any element transparent. So let's just say I don't know, glitter, or I'm just going to put glitter and see what comes up, and I'm going to go with my graphics. And so there's just sparkles of glitter. Like for example, here's just a spattering of some gold glitter. So let's just say I wanted a little spattering of gold in the bottom corner of the shirt that just sort of flares out to nothing. I could do that. I could come down. There's all sorts of different, splatterings that I could put in different areas if I wanted to, and so you could just sort of see how you could start layering certain things to make a unique look. You could also do something like, I like some of the alcohol inks look pretty cool because you start to get sort of some of these little textures in here that looks sort of cool. So I could blend some of those in if I wanted to, so you could see the way that that would look. Not super fond of that, but this one I could angle it, and by angling it like this, it's going to make sort of that bottom corner of the shirt sort of one sort of color, a little bit darker, and it's going to go into the light. And of course I could try to find something that's going to look like it matches with this pretty well. And so those are some options there. Here's some more teals that can come in. Here's some teals. And so you could definitely spend a while playing with some of these. Here's more of a teal that I could, oops, bring that back. Take this teal here, I could make it nice and sort of big and glittery, and what I can do is bring the transparency down on that so it doesn't have to be really dark. I can make it just really subtle, just to make that corner of the shirt a little bit darker, and then it sort of blends into a lighter color. And then you've got your gold, and the gold can kind of sit there, and I can bring the gold so the gold is on top maybe. And so you start to just be able to play with the texture a little bit if you want to. And so that's one way I can play with the texture, which is fun. I can also add some elements to it. So let's say I wanted to put, I like butterflies. This is a floral design. You could do flowers. I like butterflies, but lots of different ways we could go. I'm just going to give you guys some examples of things that you could do. So, you know, here's some butterflies. For example, these come in different colors. Some of these will allow you to change the colors. Here's a good grouping right here, and this will allow me to change the colors. So let's say I wanted to take these butterflies and make them really sort of big, edge to edge, something like that. So it's gonna look like it goes across the shirt a little bit. And again, the shirt is a little bit more in the center of this page, so I could do something like that. And now what I can do with these is, let's say I made them, let's go with white, and now let's go with the transparency. And so when I bring that transparency down, obviously if I bring it down you'll lose them entirely, but if I start to bring it up a little bit, it just starts to get lighter over those areas, so you just sort of get this essence of butterflies going through. And so you can do it that way, so that you can have little light butterflies going through it. I could do it the opposite way too. So if I wanted to, instead of going with white, go with that sort of dark teal color, I could have the dark teal butterflies going through. And again, I could lighten that up as much as I wanted to, so that you just sort of get this essence of butterflies going through there. And I could do a combination of both too. So I could do some whites and I could do some darks, and I could, you know, sort of play with those. But I mean, that is just one way that you can sort of obviously start layering things and making different textures, and you know, all sorts of fun things that you could do. Here's another splattering of butterflies that I could add if I wanted to, and maybe I could put those kind of here next to it, and maybe I'm going to make these ones white. And maybe I'm gonna bring the transparency down on those too. And so now you've got some white butterflies next to some dark butterflies over this sort of textured background, going from like dark to light. I mean, you could really play with this as much as you wanted, obviously. You know, I've kind of showed you the way that that would look, and I can go back over to my uploads if I want and pull my template back again if you really want to see how it's now gonna look on the t-shirt. Pull my template over the whole thing, and then I could line it up. And so here's where you can see the way I've got the butterflies lined up across the t-shirt would sort of go edge to edge, and then the light butterflies here, and it's sort of darker in this corner and lighter in this corner. And so you could see the way that that would line up on the t-shirt. So anyways, I could play with this a long time, but you get the general idea there. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm just gonna go ahead and put teal, and I'm gonna put butterfly pattern. So this is not a repeating pattern. So this is going to be different than if I was to do an all over print with like the seamless patterns. Seamless patterns would be, I've got a square and I just pattern it. So I put, you know, block after block after block, and it just keeps repeating the same pattern, and it's seamless. That's one thing. This is not really a pattern, it's a print, but there is no part of this that is gonna be a repeating pattern, and I'm not going to repeat this either. So this is a little bit different than just those repeating patterns. But I'm going to put teal butterfly pattern. I will download this as is. And we will jump over to Printful, and I will show you how this is going to look if I put it on an all over print shirt. And so we'll give this a second. There we go. And I'm going to go back over to my Printful, and I'm going to go with product templates on the left side, and I'm just going to put create product. I'm going to go to women's clothing. I'm going to go to t-shirts. We're going to find that all over print shirt that we just had right there. And so now what I'm going to go ahead and do is drop my design here. So if I click there, it's going to pull this up so I can upload that file. And I can use the same file on the front of the shirt and on the back of the shirt and on the sleeves. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Because this isn't a regular pattern, it makes it a lot easier to be able to go and use it on all the different parts of the shirt because it's just sort of more textured. Give it a second to upload. Okay, there it is uploaded, and I can hit apply. And you will see how it is just going to go ahead and put it on the shirt just like that. And that is pretty perfect. And so now that is the front of the shirt. So then up here, you've got front, back, right sleeve, left sleeve. So let's go ahead and do back. Drop design here. I'm going to go ahead and use the same upload that I just had for the back of the shirt there. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the sleeves. And I can continue to do this. Now the sleeves are a little bit different. In terms of obviously the size and everything, but they should all look pretty good. We'll check to see if I need to resize anything. Oops, made another sale. So that looks pretty cool. So now let's go ahead and we're going to go to our mock-up view. Now they've changed this a few different times. Currently now, if you want to see the mock-up view, you got to go up here to the right-hand corner. There's a little square box, and if you hover over it, it says mock-up view. Pick white, select here, and let's see if I can get some mock-ups up. And there you go. So now it's generated my mock-up, and so that is sort of how it would look on a shirt. And so that is kind of cool. You can see how it looks on the front. You can see how it looks on the back. And so for an all-over print shirt, that's pretty cool style. And you can see right here, you see the seam for the shirt goes there, but it doesn't look like a big clash. Oops, made another sale. It looks like it goes, so it's just textured, and the sleeves actually look pretty good, so I'm not getting a huge discrepancy between like sizes of things on the sleeves. And so overall, I'd say that that works really well as an all over print shirt. So something more like that style is what I like to do for all over print shirts. And again, I mean, you can design these any way you want. That is just one example and one way that you could do it to make it, very unique and, make it your own. So you can get very creative with this. And again, if you use Printful for this, which is what I'm on, you can then sell this design on Etsy through Printful. You can sell it on Amazon via Seller Central through Printful. Redbubble will have all over print design shirts, and so those are all things you can use. And then if you're on Amazon through like Merch by Amazon, you could still use this pattern, and you could use it on the pillows, you could use it on the phone cases, you could use it on the tote bags, you could use it on the pop sockets. So any kind of all over print product you could use it on, but it looks really nice here on shirts. And so I can go ahead and click continue, and I can title this if I want to, again, butterfly. Now what I title it would change depending on what platform I'm putting it on. This is just a product template, so I can title it anything I want, but your SEO changes depending on what platform you're on, so that'll dictate kind of what I title it as. So I'm just going to put butterfly print women's t-shirt, and then I can save that product template right there, and there we go. And so I can go ahead then, if I want to, and download mockups of this. So I can click on the corner here, and I can go to where it says download mockups. I can choose a custom mockup, and so there's different ways I could pick these. So I could do the lifestyle mockup, model mockup. I tend to like the lifestyle ones for a lot of products, especially if it's something that could be unisex, because If it was a product that could go on a girl or a guy and you use a girl, then a guy might not want to buy it and vice versa. So then the lifestyle ones work better. Sometimes it's better to have a model because it'll show the fit of the shirt, but obviously not everybody is the same size, so the fit could vary. So I do like the lifestyle mock-ups a lot. I do think that they're pretty clean. So that's what I use when I'm doing mock-ups for my Etsy shop. They're all more the lifestyle mock-ups. So I can do that. I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the front mock-up just to show you. And so right now it says PNG generate mock-up, so I can click that. It'll generate the mock-up. I'll have to give it a second, and then I'll hit the button down here. It will then say download the mock-up. And so there we go. And so then I can hit download mock-ups, and it will download it. And so now it's in my download. So now if I want to jump right back over to my Canva, I'm back on Canva here. I can go over to the left side where it says uploads, and then what I can do is I can upload the mockup here and give it a sec, and there it is. So I can open a new page if I want to see my mockup, and there is what my mockup would look like. And so that looks pretty cool. And again, you could play with this mockup too. So I could, if I wanted to, do a background removal, make sure that I got like most of the background manually removed, and then take this and put it on any other background that I might like. So lots of fun ways that you could go about playing with this, but you get the idea. I hope this gave you some great design ideas. I hope this is something that you guys can work with and use. Again, if you have any questions about this, drop it in the comments section below. I do try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. And if you have something that you're interested in learning about, or a topic that you want to see, again, put it in the comment section below. I'll try to get you added to the list. Hope you guys are doing really well. I hope you guys are, far into designing for your Q3 stuff, and I hope to see you guys again. That's it for today's video. If you found this useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.